The first thing that happened was that we got this on the 5th of September. EFCC says that this guy, who we all know is always involved in luxurious buildings and the likes, was declared wanted. Was declared wanted by the EFCC. So the public is hereby notified that Ola Suji Ogundele of SUJIMOTO's Luxury Construction Limited, whose photo appears above, is wanted by the EFCC in an alleged case of diversion of fund and money laundering. Anybody with useful information about his whereabouts should please contact the commission in its Ibadan or all those offices listed there. I'm not going to read that. And this came out and everybody was like, wow, what happened? Apparently, the guy came out and then released the video. So what I don't understand is, was there an invitation sent to this guy way before, all of these public notification or public notice was printed? I don't know. I don't. Now the guy came out to explain his own side of the story.
This is a contract between my company and the ENUGU State Government. ENUGU State Government asked me to help them build a couple of things, a couple of projects, which were very interesting. I was going to the state every week. In the middle of the project, they said, okay, the governor said he wanted to build a city. And he wanted to build the tallest building in Nigeria, 69-story building. I designed it and gave it to him. He said, okay, keep it aside.
Okay.
He said, while you're waiting for this, please help me do these schools. That we have money, but we don't have people that can do it. I've never done this type of schools before, but I knew it was cement and concrete and machinery. I knew it was arrangement. So I said, okay, let me give you a try. I told the governor, I said, this project is impossible because of the pricing, the cost of it is too low to build. The governor said, don't worry, just help me do these schools, and later you make money from the schools, but you make money from the other projects, which I was very.
Again, people do that a lot. They try to open stuff and then try to use that as a way to get a bigger project, but at the same time, the price was already low.
Happy with. Right there, I mobilized 42 engineers to the states. I took a house in the state. I love the state. I went to the state, and I was there doing the job. I was traveling from Eziagu to different local governments. I had an accident that my back got broken, but I didn't tell anybody. Now, the contract was frustrated. When we took the contract, at every point, I knew that it was difficult to do it because of the pricing. Now, when we took the contract, cement was 7,000. By the time we left, cement was 10,000. I faced a lot of people. Sometimes.
Again, I would believe that this guy has been into so many projects. These are stuff that you make provisions for. Whatever project it is that you embark upon, there is an high likelihood that at some point, if the project gets delayed, or even if you've got all this stuff happening, and then you get to a point where, okay, fine, you have all of this done, but there was something that happened beyond your control. And that happens with almost every major project. If you're into construction, if you're into buildings, you would know this. What were the provisions that you made to cover yourself? Because right now, doing a video would not suffice. You've got to go defend yourself. What were the agreement that was signed? Were there a provision made for variations? Were there other things? Even if you look at the old stuff, right, from the get-go, you knew this would be a failure. Were there provisions that you could back out without so much penalties?
When in the villages, my stars are being shot at. Sometimes they will have some people come, they'll bring guns and shoot at them. I was still there. But at the end of the day, things went sour between myself and the government. And I was still there. If I had money, I would continue the project, but I had my other projects. I had stress on my other project that I wanted to do. Now, they took me to court. And I said, okay, let's look at the entire project. How much have we spent? Till the last day I was in the project. I was there till the last day. Then I asked me that, how much have we spent in the project? And I put my put. They took us to court. And we told the court, we don't want to fight with the government. Let's agree. How much do we owe you? And I was in agreement with them. And now they declared me wanted. They destroyed my company that I built with them.
Again, I feel some sympathy for him, but again, this could have been avoided. There's no way this could have really been avoided. It's just crazy.
But I'm going to go there. I'm going to the EFCC office. I'm going to go and clear my name. In the last 2-3 years, prices have just gone crazy. If I'm doing my project, it's delayed, 5 years delayed. Something I could have done with 2 years. Prices of things change.
That's a big lesson to all, especially those that are, into so many projects. If you're into construction, or if you've done something related to construction before, you should know that this stuff do happen. These stuffs do happen. And that is why you have to ensure that risk management, is your number one priority. Crazy. You need to hear from the state government before concluding that Nigeria happened to him. Nigeria can be very dramatic. Exactly. Like, if this thing is already in court, and they're trying to possibly settle, then we need to know what really happened. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't expect in Nigeria happened to contract is contract. You need to respect the details in the agreement. You don't do contract with emotions. Exactly. You don't even try. Like, again, him crying on set, having a ring light camera and then crying and trying to portray himself as the victim here does not even help the matters. I would rather he starts talking to his lawyer. Talk to your lawyer, bro. How do we get out of this? This is not even going to help the matters. This might even be putting him more into crazy situation. I'm serious. Okay, fine. You signed a contract. You couldn't deliver what really happened and all of those. And that's just it. And that's really crazy. Now, as an entrepreneur, listen to SUJIMOTO's clip resonated with me. Yeah, I understand where it's coming from. But again, you just have to protect yourself. Because it's a brutal world out there. It is. I'm not a thief. I mean, he gave those tearful remarks and all that. I think this guy has been on his issue. Let me see what he has to say.
To the general public, SUJIMOTO has now been declared wanted by the EFCC. That's it right there. SUJIMOTO has been declared wanted by the EFCC. And not only has the EFCC declared SUJIMOTO wanted, I myself has also declared SUJIMOTO wanted because I now have a new case of SUJIMOTO owing another person the sum of $1.9 million.
Wow. That's a lot of money.
That's over 3 billion naira as we speak. Since 2020 or 2021, thereabout. $1.9 million. Now, all these real estate developers that are defrauding people, your time of defrauding people has been declared over. If you are defrauding Nigerians or if you are defrauding people, we will come for you. We will come for you. And we will deal with you.
Okay.
Anywhere you did. I will fish you out. Anywhere you did, I will fish you out. Your days of defrauding people is over. All the real estate developers, your days of defrauding people is over. Anywhere you did, I will fish you out. I will wipe your name from the face of the real estate market. And we
Mhm.
turn that your brand to dust and ash. You will cease to exist. Even ChatGPT not going to find you. If they search your name, you're not going to pop up for ChatGPT. It's not a trend. It's a movement.
Okay. Okay. I mean, I don't have anything to add to that. I guess. Yeah. And again, I'm like, projects in Nigeria comes with a lot of risk. I don't try to. I've gotten to the point where I would rather ensure that my investment is safe than for me to just be following some risky bets. Oh, Dangote is doing this here in the Lekki Beju stuff. Oh, let's all go there. And then dude goes there. You pay certain money. You don't even have a full account of what's happening. Again, I think the case with SUJIMOTO is quite different because he established himself into this luxury space. So the assumption would be that he would be going for high net worth clients. Okay, so if you're able to put a 1.9 million down for some projects, then I'll believe that you're okay. You're very well okay. How are you able to put such an amount down? And at some point, you don't even kind of, check, okay, fine, how much am I putting in at first? I don't know if this story is true. So again, I wouldn't dwell too much on it. But that was it. That was what happened. Let me see this guy.
Hello. A real estate big man. Young man where they do well for real estate. Now declared wanted for money laundering and the diversion of fund. We will see.
Oh, let's see.
Let's look at the beginning of this young man.
Okay.
Live in a small one-room house.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Like dishwashing and trading. Man,
okay, that's fine.
Part of his money, his estate, should go to him. Now, the children call him. Tell us, Baba, left something for you. Now that thing, now come carry, enter.
Okay, so he got money, moved to Nigeria, and then. Okay, so this guy is always calling me out.
SUJIMOTO.
So this is the account of him calling him out at different points. Okay.
Yeah. With him, he has also paid February salary to his staff because most of them resigned. He owed them for January, February, and March. So he has
at this point, that's just the indicator. Once you start owing salaries, it's over. It's over because salaries compared to the project, the product, and all of those things. Again, I think he bit more than he could chew. I think he did that. And when that happens, when it starts boomeranging, when it starts cascading down, there is no easy way out. There is no easy way out. He has to, at this point in time, this guy might have to sell some of his assets just to stay afloat or to avoid jail. Because there are so many variables that could go, south. And that's what has happened. Again, is he a thief? No. The fact that you're a good person doesn't mean that you can suffer from your ignorance. The fact that you're good doesn't mean that if you've actually been more than you could chew, the fact that you're good doesn't mean if you go to the top of the 10th floor of a building and you jump from that doesn't mean you're not going to crash. To be honest, that's what has happened to this guy.
January has paid for February, and he's here to pay for March. So SUJIMOTO, go pay them. Despite they've resigned, ensure you pay them all their salary. SUJIMOTO, I'm happy for you.
No, I don't think this guy is right to be spiting him. This is a clear case of, I would say, pre-bankruptcy. I mean, that shows that the guy, and it could have been just mismanagement. You don't need to steal from your company before your company goes down. You don't.
I'm very happy for you. I've washed my hands off you. But go and sin no more. Because if you still sin, there will be part 2.
I said to myself, wow, I love this guy. I love this guy. Before we get
now to P1.
P1 Real Estate Company. They go on for this industry. We could read each of them. His name. They thought say the public is hereby notified. Before EFCC could do this, it means say they could not contact and invite him. Maybe he refused to go there.
Exactly, and that was what I said. That possibly he felt like he could have his own way, and just just plausible deniability. Or that, you know what, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna just settle. They are politicians. They're all corrupt. I don't doubt. Possibly there was some other backdoor deals or backroom deals happening. I'm not saying that didn't happen. But what I'm trying to say is this: that there would have been some effort to get to his own story. What happened? And again,
one thing that should happen to any businessman now for EFCC to declare you wanted.
Yeah.
Clean this mess from the internet. So if they invite you, go submit yourself. They know they buy person for there. The worst, they will send you go prison. You go try come out. This brand, whether they brand you so because
it's over.
To submit.
It's over. And again, the problem is the way project works in Nigeria. Let me tell you this how this works. Okay. They try to like, okay, fine, we want to do this, allocation. There's this assets that we have right now, and we want to sell it out. So this is what they do. They start inviting people. They may not even have gotten the full access right to that. They may still have some process that is, still awaiting to be done, but they need to actually get in cash. So they call people, oh, we want to do this, we want to do this. They go on a very high promo agenda, and then they get all these monies from customers. They use that money to kind of sort out this project. Of course, there are a lot of commitment and all that. For them to be able to get customers, they have to put it at a very, very ridiculous low price, and then they get that. And once they seize the money, then you're waiting for allocation, you're waiting for you to even know your land and all that. They're not done with that project. Dude, they move on to another one. They collect that money. So at some point, they are using new monies to settle old stuff. That's how it happens. That's how most of these real estate stuff, that's how they operate. So the money you're paying today to buying a real estate or all that, don't be fooled to think that that's the money for you. No, that your money is going to settle some other previous claim. So the hope is that they keep doing that, they keep rolling it over, But at some point, if that risk is not fully managed, it comes crashing down. And I think that's what has happened to this. So they get a lot of monies, they get this, they get that, they get into project, they meet so many issues while working on the project. At times, it could be something that if you've owned property, and that's why I don't, for this kind of person, I don't even try to make jest or make fun of him. Because if you've dealt with bigger projects before, no matter who you are, things go south. Not just Nigeria. I'm telling you, not just Nigeria. Even in the West, you need to have this extra effort to persevere. Don't you see the way Donald Trump behaved? That guy is a real estate developer. They are not normal. Does Trump look like he's normal to you? He's not normal. Because of the way the terrain is. Again, you're having real estate stuff in New York. They will want to come after you. Politicians want to come after you. So you've got to understand that a lot of these real estate people, they go bankrupt. There was a time Trump was even talking about, his case, and it was like, at some point it was down $990 million. You know how much that is in Naira? It was crazy. Like, it was like it's all over. And the problem is that because most real estate agents or most real estate developers, they're always leveraged. It becomes so much difficult because when it comes crashing down, they're all over. They just declare bankruptcy.
Yourself, it's not good. The public is hereby notified that the young man.
Oh, it was that one. Okay, so we've done that one.
We will come.
Okay, I've seen this one also.
the way they do in their company is that the allocation will be done after the sale of the whole 31.
Yeah, I told you. Yeah. They're selling you receipts. They're not selling you the land. The money they're getting now is actually to fulfill stuff that they've sold before. That's what happens. That's the way that business operates. Don't let anybody fool you. So again, right now, I don't do Nigerian real estate. Oh, Dangote has this stuff in this zone, this straight zone. There's this land is going for this. I don't. Because the risk there is just so much. It's so much. And most times you don't even have recourse. The reason why they can get this guy is because it's a state government. That's why. It's a state government. So, I mean, he's dealing with the big boys, right? To me, I would say just don't do another video. Yeah, that video was just possibly maybe to clear his name. But right now, nobody in his right senses wanting to build an apartment will go to SUJIMOTO's. In fact, some that are maybe signed a few days ago will be like, how can I get out of this deal? Or how can I get out of this contract? I'm telling you, that's how bad it is. I watched one of his interview and I was like, wow. It was this one. Yeah.
Man, SUJIMOTO.
Anata, Suji, what Tashiwa? SUJIMOTO, sir. And at a very young age, I had always wanted to understand the principle of success. I didn't have the capital of currency, but I had the capital of dedication. So that's why I could rise as a black man from nothing to everything. But I had die. Die means diligence, integrity, and excellence. Creating a building is like having a child. We don't just want to build any building.
Yeah.
We want to study the best of the best architects of the world.
Yeah.
And what were they thinking at the time when they were building? This is the Lucrezia. This is the mock-up apartment.
Luxury.
The best developer in the world will enter here
And I give it to him. He has those apartments and like real good apartment. Like the apartment, yeah, wow, this is happening in Nigeria. You're gonna love it.
say, Kadesi, passion is the passport for champions. If you don't have passion for what you do, you find it extremely difficult to succeed.
Yeah.
I hate it when I see young people ranting on social media. I'm saying that time they used to rant,
Rant
I
can
convert
create
it
an idea.
into creating an idea. Anybody can come from Ikorodu and become a landlord in Ikoyi.
Welcome back to the channel, my YouTube family. It's about, I don't know, 7:30 right now. I'm going to Banana Island right now to meet SUJIMOTO. He has an awesome story. I don't know, there's just something with very successful people and early mornings. I'm trying to rush right now to Banana Island, and hey, for some of you that don't know, most of his projects are just done in, you know, Banana Island, because he's selling real estate for just the 1% of the 1%, right? So Banana Island is actually an island. It's actually carved in the shape of a banana, hence its name. It was the most expensive neighborhood in Nigeria before we had, you know, Eco Atlantic. As a matter of fact, Davido actually bought a property from SUJIMOTO, the Giuliano. This interview is going to be very helpful, not just for people that are into real estate and want to learn from him, but entrepreneurs in general. Like if you really want to be a business person, this guy is a business tycoon, right? And we're going to talk to him, and I hope you guys like the video. And hey man, we're trying to crush 100,000 before the year ends, so please subscribe to the channel if it's your first time. My name is Steven. I make videos around real estate, travel, and everything in between. All right, I'm going to like to have you here in the family. All right,
Good one.
your projects actually get on in the news. It's always on the headlines, so people are always like, let's hear him talk. Behind every glory, there's always a story, right? So before we get into the details of your project and what you have going on right here in Banana Island, I'm kind of like walk them through your journey of, you know, how you were able to start. You know, you had an Okada business, and right now you're building for the top 1% of the 1% right here in Africa. Yes. How did it happen, sir?
My story is one of those type of stories that would never have happened anywhere in Africa, except with Nigeria. I was born into a very dynamic family. My father did a 9 to 5, was a manager, and my mother was an entrepreneur. I grew up in a room, not a face me and face it, but then the one bedroom where my mom nurtured 8 children. But at every stage, I had a great, I think I won an ovarian lottery where I had a great mother that taught me, you know, the basic principles of life, how to make sure that, you know, when you decide to go to school well.
Yeah.
If you want to be a mechanic, be the best mechanic. If you want to sell pure water, be the best pure water
Not
seller.
a bad one.
The norm is that we
Kudos to mothers here. It's a lot of sacrifice to raise kids.
grew up that you should remain there, go to school, maybe come out, become an accountant, and become a storekeeper or an accountant somewhere in Nagige. My cousin had a friend who had an Okada, and they didn't know what to do with it. And because the guy, the Okada rider kept coming back, and, you know, he didn't pay them the money and everything.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I want the Okada. And they said, I don't have money. I said, I'll pay you back little. But I'd already saved a little. At that time, I think I was like 9 or 8.
Yeah.
So I had something very, very little, and I gave it to them. I told them I would give them the rest later. So what I did was that I now had a friend that wanted to play football, who also is the elder brother that rides Okada as well. So we spoke with him. We did what we call a partnership now. You know, he was riding the Okada, then we went to repair the Okada. So the little money I had and they had repaired it. They understood that, you know, because of course on the street of about 45 people, and my father was the second person that had a generator. So in those days, you know, if you have a generator, you're a rich family.
A rich man,
Of course, and we switch on our generator maybe once a Sunday or once, you know, and things like that. So, you know, I told them that they shouldn't worry that we'll pay. So I was able to persuade them. So we went to repair it. They started working. Then as they started giving returns, we were able to pay the guy that owned the Okada. When we finished paying the Okada, we made so much when we were just kids, 9, 10 years old.
Wow, that's impressive.
The most important
At that age, that's very, very impressive.
part of this story is that my house became an Okada center where all the Okada guys had to come and sit down there in the evening, and my dad didn't want to have it again. From 1 Okada to 6 Okadas. We had a lot of Okadas. But even if my dad had stopped that Okada business in me, he didn't stop the entrepreneurship. I think my most important destiny started when I decided to leave Nigeria.
How did the interest for real estate started? 1, why did you decide to leave Nigeria to France? 2, and then why did you come back?
So you see, the Okada business was just a coincidence. The spirit of entrepreneurship, you know, you either have it or you don't have it. I left Nigeria at the age of 16 or 17. I think it was my 17th birthday. It was my 16th birthday, 1997. But after I found myself in France, I was kept in a refugee camp. Then I met coincidentally, from being an hawker on the street of Nice, I coincidentally met a rich man, Sheikh Mohammed Al-Raji, who is a Saudi Arabian businessman, who took me under his mentorship and carried me along and trained me and taught me all the principles of business. And at the time, I wasn't earning any salary. So I was always there for him. I knew that you know, I didn't have the capital of currency, but I had the capital of dedication. So that whatever I had, I was dedicated it to my principal, and I saw him through. So that's why I could rise as a black man from nothing to everything. I became his confidant. I became a member of his think tank, and when he died, he was able to.
Wow, that connection alone, wow, that's more than what money can give you. That's more than what salary can give you. If you're able to get someone, imagine you having one of those sheikhs in Dubai. So the access alone is massive.
You know, they shouldn't say, Alaji said you should have this as a compensation for all the dedication of years of dedication. So I think when he died in, I think 2013, September 2013, I decided to come back home. There was nothing to do. And I've lived abroad almost 10 years of my life. And I said, okay, I was coming home for a couple of reasons. 1, my mother wanted me to get married. 2, I thought that my talent and everything I've learned abroad, then traveling all over the place and being connected to different numerous business deals. I think I can bring that back home. I had to give back home, and I also knew that, you know, Nigeria had an opportunity. It's a land of great opportunities. So I said, okay, I would come back here and come and see how I can turn my 1 + 1 got to 11. But my deepest real estate happened in 2011 when I bought a very, very, you know, bad apartment, you know, in France, right in Whittemore. So I bought the apartment. My then girlfriend, you know, our brother was an architect. We went to different parts, contacted our own Romanian artisans, highly skilled laborers. They did everything. We furnished it. We looked into Google. We looked into Facebook to look at beautiful apartments. We implemented what we had there. We furnished them. We ordered all our furniture. unfinished. By the time we finished it,
Yeah.
and a friend of mine from Kuwait said he wanted to buy the apartment, and he bought the apartment. I made €1 million.
Wow.
I made €1 million in less than 6 months.
Wow.
So for me,
Wow.
I'm like,
That was the aha
so
moment
this
for you.
this thing is sweet like this. So I said, okay, let's go. You know, I moved back exactly when I realized that mediocrity had already, you know, eclipsed the real estate industry. I realized that there was no standard for luxury living.
Yeah.
What people was allocating luxury for location. So which means if you have a land in Ikoyi, you build a 2-bedroom apartment, it's luxury. No, luxury is not by location. Luxury is by what you introduce. You can have luxury in Ijebubu. So when I came, I had lived in Agege, coming to Ikoyi.
For people who don't know, Agege is one of the areas in Lagos where they consider, most the lower middle. Would I say the lower middle class or the poor?
Yeah, lower middle class.
Middle class.
Very
Yeah,
low,
yeah.
But one of the highest population of Lagos State.
Yeah.
So I'd already come from there. Nobody had expected me to come all the way to cross Ogba, cross Ikeja, cross Mitsulere, cross Dolphin Estate, then cross, then come to VI, then
So that's it. So if you look at the guy, is very, 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 very inspirational. You understand? From that upbringing to walking on the street of France, and then to the point where he's now doing projects. Okay, so it's got it going for him at some point, just by sincere, I would say, ambition. And when you're so ambitious as an individual, there's that penchant for you to take risk and forget about risk management. So, and again, I don't think he is a thief, and I don't think he intentionally wanted to steal that money. I mean, looking at all the background of the stories that he's talking about, his upbringing and all that, he's done a deal and it's worked out. He's done another deal, it's worked out, and all that. One good lesson that you need to learn from this is this, and you're gonna know that if you've done deals before that has given you so much mad money that you never thought you could make. At that moment, when you've made so much money, you have to be very, very careful. And I'm speaking from experience. When you've broken it so big, you've got to be very, very careful. And that's why, up until now, most people, almost 100% of those that win lottery, especially these major big lotteries, they end up regretting it. They end up either getting broke again, they end up either getting more miserable, and possibly they never wish that they won those lotteries. It's just life. So, and I'm not saying that he won a lottery, but I'm also saying that once you've done a big deal and you've made a lot of money, I always advise people that once you've made that lot of money that you feel this is so much that you don't even need to work again in your life, take that money, put it in cash, just go around for a few months and go and rethink and re-strategize. Don't take this big money and then move into another thing. That's why most of all these MMM, bets, all those stuffs, they take all the money and put it back into it, thinking that they're going to make another monstrous home run. But then at the end of the day, it crashes and they become more miserable because not that they didn't put what they put the money that they got from whatever Ponzi scheme, they borrow more money just because they want this bigger money. And at the end of the day, they crash.
Then come to Ikoyi. Who are you? Who is your father? Who is it?
Yeah.
There was no nobility in poverty.
Yeah.
My own is that the fact that I came from somewhere doesn't mean that I must remain where I am.
Yeah.
So I always have a phrase that says that for anybody can come from Ikorodu and become a landlord in Ikoyi. Everybody thought, oh, this young guy, a billionaire and everything, but trust me, I didn't have any money. The little money I had saved and the little money my principal has given to me, that was the money. That was the only money. In fact, when I bought my first land, I didn't have the total amount. I had only almost 40% of the money. With the land ownership that was in my name, though I'd already paid maybe 30 or 40% only, I was able to use it as an asset to create some kind of arrangement and started selling off plan. Even if I had not started developing, I didn't have any strong background. I didn't have any powerful auntie, a rich uncle.
Rich daddy.
And so, but I had DIE. DIE means diligence, integrity, and excellence. And I knew that when I wrapped that together, I discovered some kind of secret of success.
Yeah.
Which is, no matter where you are,
Yeah.
if you have diligence, if you have integrity, and you have the spirit of excellence, you'll make it.
Make it, yeah. Hearing him talk, even though you don't have an interest in real estate, I mean, these principles can be applied in all walks of life, right?
Exactly,
We now know
100%.
your story and everything. Now let's talk about the SUJIMOTO brand, right? But the first thing I want to talk about is the structures that you build. They're not like the everyday high rises or the everyday terraces that we see, right? What actually inspires your architectural design? Like when you do you outsource this thing, or you're actively involved in the whole process? And then what actually inspires your name? Because when I research your name, I'm like, you're having Giuliano, Medici, Leonardo. I'm like, and even the name SUJIMOTO, like, it's not it doesn't sound Nigerian, right? So
So the first question, there are different types of real estate developers.
Yeah.
There are some people that just buy houses, just build a square building, and they just sell it. And they have a good business model. And because I read a lot, I was able to understand that greatness is created by paying patience. And there is no way you can create anything to become great without adequately going as deep as possible into them. Creating a
Correct,
building is like
100%.
having a child.
Yeah,
You don't want just
yeah.
want to build any building.
Yeah.
You want to study the best of the best architects of the world.
Yeah.
And what were they thinking at the time when they were building? I want to study the people that have impacted art in the world and what were they doing at the building. And one of my biggest mentors was Cosimo de' Medici. Cosimo de' Medici was the 16th century, not only the richest man in the world, but also a man that had already invested so much into art. He was the one that discovered Michelangelo. He was the one that discovered Da Vinci, and so many others.
Yeah.
He was the father of Lorenzo de' Medici, and he discovered so many incredible architects in Florence of those days. And we also realized that he was one of the patriots of architecture, one of the people that created the philosophy of patience and the philosophy of simplicity, and how to bring a complexity, mix complexity and simplicity in architecture. So when I studied it, he became my virtual mentor.
Yeah.
So I said that in honor to him, my first building in Nigeria would call the Medici, though a very small development on Milton, so we called it the Medici. Our second development that we planned was called the Lorenzo, the first son of Cosimo de' Medici. Then our other departments, Giuliano, Lucrezia. For example, we had the Lucrezia. The Lucrezia de' Medici was not only the daughter of Lorenzo, but also one of the most prestigious ladies of the 16th, 17th century. So we studied her lifestyle. She was very robust, very beautiful woman. Men and women used to travel from different parts of Europe just to come and study her lifestyle. So we studied her. I told my architect in Dubai and those in Singapore that we want to create a building that would stand the test of time. That no matter who you are as a human being, when you pass in front of that building, you have a wow, you know, that wow moment. And that's why we created Lucrezia. We now mixed it with the customer perception of Nigeria. All
Wow,
Nigerians
this
want
is
to live in
impressive.
villas. They don't want to live in apartments. So what we did is that we created maisonettes, created cubes of maisonettes, just like the body of Lucrezia, and we stacked them on each other. So in building the Lucrezia de' Medici in Banana, we built it from the perception and the concept and the idea and the lifestyle of Lucrezia de' Medici, and that's why we call her Lucrezia de' Medici.
This is impressive. This is really, really impressive. Yeah, really, really impressive.
And that's why you can stand 5 kilometers away.
And
If
so
you spot the Lucrezia, you know she's the one.
Yeah.
And I believe that it's the building that would change the architectural, skyline of Ikoyi, because we have dedicated so many things into it. We have introduced GRC, which is glass reinforcement concrete, the first of its kind in Nigeria, to give the building, to make it stand the test of time. And in the next 100 years, the building will still be the same.
I know you kept mentioning Lorenzia. I hope I'm getting this name right. Lucrezia. Right. So is this the most interesting project you have done, or is there a project that you like?
Lucrezia SUJIMOTOs. Let me see if I can actually get that one.
Building the Lucrezia de' Medici in Banana, we built it from the perception and the concept and the idea and the lifestyle of Lucrezia de' Medici, and that's why we call
Right, but the first thing I want to talk about is the structures that you build. They're not like the everyday high rises or the everyday terraces that we see, right? What actually inspires?
Let me see. Let me see this.
When the night has come,
I'll go back to the story, but just
and the
want to check
land
this.
is dark, and the moon is the only light we'll see. No, I won't be afraid. Oh, I won't be afraid. Just as long as you stand by me.
Bro, this is
So
massive.
darling,
Wow.
darling, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Oh, stand by me. Stand by.
Oh, this is massive. And this is in Nigeria. Wow. Wow. Buy or rent the last 4-bedroom. Sujimotos. So yeah, that's massive. That's great. Let's continue our story. Let's go back.
Like, it's the most passionate for you? And the second question leading to that is, I know you mentioned that location doesn't actually have anything to do with luxury, right? But why did you choose to build in Banana Island? I mean, why not you take the whole brand to Ikorodu and transform Ikorodu to its own Dubai?
Well, that's a funny question, because you have to put it where those that you service would have the resources to be able to afford it. Okay. Now you could have, this plan to maybe at some point do low-cost housing, but low-cost housing is not going to pay you that premium that you're putting into the houses. What happens if you build all these things in that place, a corridor or whatever, and then you have nobody to buy from you? So again, you have to look at the per capita GDP by location.
Why did you choose Banana Island?
We keep developing ourselves every day.
Yeah.
And, this today is our most recent project, but we have so many other projects in pipeline. We have the Queen Amina. The Queen Amina is from Zaria. The Queen Amina, we studied. She was a warrior. She was what you called the 17th century female mafia. I call her female mafia. Your common, women of those days. And
Yeah.
this was a man in a woman's body that she led men, thousands of warriors, and became a phenomenon in the northern part. So what we did is we studied Arigaya, and we should know when she's on it. So we used it to create an architectural masterpiece.
Wow,
And that's going to be in Abuja by the grace of God. It's a 30-story building. We've already designed it. We should start construction from next year.
Okay.
Then we have the Leonardo. The Leonardo for us is going to be the tallest residential building in Lagos. And we have the waterfront property. And we've added so many other things around it to make it become, not only a Nigerian phenomenon, but a global phenomenon.
Yeah.
When we build, we want to say, what are people doing in Singapore? We have a 55-story building coming in Dubai. Will be the first African to stamp our architectural stamp of authority in the middle of downtown in Dubai. A 5-story building that combines hospitality, residential, and exclusive retail. We have that in the pipeline. So many other projects like that. The first rule of real estate
Yeah.
location.
Yeah.
So real estate can be lower middle income, and high luxury, and super high luxury.
Yeah.
We are in the super high luxury.
Yeah.
So if I was building middle income, I would choose the location and identify the location that has got to do with my target audience. So in understanding the Nigerians, every Nigerian wants to live in Banana Island.
Yeah.
And location are the 3 fundamental rules of luxury real estate and of even real estate in general.
Yeah.
So we think for our customers, where can we build a building that will stand the test of time and give a higher return on investment for our customers, and the value of that property will remain for life. And don't forget, I told you that where you situate a property has to do with the value of the property. It will increase the value of it or decrease it. So you can have the most beautiful villa in Ijebu, or you can have the most beautiful villa in Banana Island. The most beautiful villa in Ijebu can cost you maybe 300 million naira to build it, but you have it on a property, on a land that is worth 5 million naira. Or you can take that, you can uproot that same 300 million naira and bring it to an island on the land worth 1 billion. Automatically, it shoots the price up to over 200%.
Yeah.
So for us, location was very important. And not only Banana Island, we needed a location where we can identify ourselves and where we can stamp our authority and where we can be visible. You know, so those are the things that were
Yeah.
very important, you know, for us as a company. My passion is not in mass housing. My passion is in luxury.
Tiago, you're saying this because you just keep answering the question I want to ask. I was going to ask you if in the future, or probably, I don't know, when you're ready to retire, you would ever in your life think of an affordable project so that the middle class or the lower middle would have a taste of the SUJIMOTO brand, even in the future, if that is ever going to cross your mind.
You know,
considering the housing deficit in the country as well, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. So people keep talking about the housing deficit and everything, and you know, we are in the higher upper class of real estate industry. However, so out of the quest, a lot of people have been telling us to please build this, that, so no problem. So we are building something called the SUJIMOTO Smart City. The SUJIMOTO Smart City, we are building the best infrastructure when it comes to creating a city. It will take a lot for any kind of person to have the gods to do what we're about to do. The same way we have implemented luxury into building, we are bringing the same thing into infrastructure. And we're creating lands where they become affordable. So we are building a city that will have its own mini airport, that will have its own polo club, that will have its own golf course, that will have over 100 artificial lakes. Then we'll now create lands from 500 square meters to 1,000 square meters where people can afford and build them. So we might not be able to build them, you know, but we'll appoint them to people, we train developers that understand the mindset and our blueprint, and they follow those blueprints. So this is the way of coming back to society and making sure we give back and let people have a taste.
That answers the question for you guys, that like you want to really have a taste of what SUJIMOTO brings to the table.
Yeah. So again, I think that.
So my next question, I don't know if you're aware of this, but when I was actually.
Yeah. So I think that at some point, okay, this happens. Like if you've seen great developers and all that, this happens all the time. Now, I don't know at what point that E and EFCC, you know, I started having this back and forth, and for them to have invited him and declared him wanted. Now they declare him wanted, not even inviting him. I don't know at what point that started. Now, that being said, to a good extent, at least this guy is trying, you know, and we've seen the properties, we've seen stuffs. Real estate is no play. Go and ask about the Akon City. Have you heard about the Akon City? I don't know if you've heard about that. Akon City. That project, till tomorrow, nothing to show up. Nothing to show for it. So again, I'm like, I understand, you know, I believe that he should just, you know, go in, face whatever music, is learn from his mistakes. Possibly don't just take, you know, jobs that you don't even have any clue on.
Going online to research about you, see what people are saying about you. You know, I went on some forums and people were saying, oh, SUJIMOTO, he's a hype man, he brags a lot, you know, because there was an interview, I don't know, sometime in 2019, you said something like, you know, you are the Rolls Royce of real estate in Nigeria, and you also said if you were to be a musician, you would be the Jay-Z. People were like, I beg, let's hear. So, I mean, in as much as that is working in your favor, because I want us to learn some things about your PR.
Absolutely.
So, I know a lot of business people will be watching this video. What do you have to teach us about PR? Basically, saying something, even though you are not that thing at that point, but working your way up there.
Absolutely. So, you know, I think I had the opportunity to meet Sheikh Mohammed Al Maktoum, the ruler of Dubai. If you study a country like Dubai, Dubai, a land full of sand, and wrapped it in gold and sold it to the world. Today, they've transformed themselves from a land of sands and camel to a city of marbles and towers. They did this in the space of 20 to 10 years. This philosophy of marketing yourself, shouting about yourself, and saying what you want to do, and transferring your passion and vision to the public. When Martin Luther King said, I had a dream that one day, you know, everybody will be equal. If he hadn't said that and pursued it, would have Barack Obama ever be president? When Jimovia in the 70s or
well, on Barack Obama, I'm not even sure if that's one thing again that I come to understand about all these right activists. Like Barack Obama was not a good president at all. In all metrics, he didn't even do anything for the blacks. So again, I kind of understand the context of what he's talking about, but I just wanted to chip that.
80s, said he wanted to build the best bank in Nigeria. We would say he was bragging to them. I believe that if you have a product and you are persuaded and convinced that this product is a great product, you have to shout about it. You have to become annoying about it. And that's what we become. When we started the SUJIMOTO brand, people said, na hype. We created the hype is real through the contribution of so many pessimists. Saying na hype, na hype. But a lot of them, one day, one of them came and said, Omar, this hype is real.
It's real, yeah.
But that's how we created na hype is real.
Yeah.
But I personally believe that you can be selling pure water or you can be selling Rolls Royce. When you have a product and you're convinced that this product is the best, you have to scream about it. You cannot sell what you don't have passion for. Passion is the passport for champions. If you don't have passion for what you do, you cannot. You find it extremely difficult to succeed. And it also boils back to yourself. You are one of the best YouTubers in Nigeria. It's not as if you do well, because when you got in touch with me, I had to Google research you, I had my team to look at you, and we saw that you use the best quality of what you do. You put passion in everything you do.
That's great.
You go extreme and to extra mile to make sure you create quality. So what we are doing is not necessarily PR. We are doing what we love.
And we have a lot of people in diaspora. You said you left France to come back home. I actually interviewed an American. He was in Nigeria, he left and came back again. When people in diaspora that have, they want to come back home and start a business and help also, but they keep thinking of the limitation. Oh, Nigeria, as you say, they keep hearing scary things on the news. We don't have light. And you did it, you left France, came here, and you're building an empire right here. So what advice do you have to say for people in diaspora that really have an idea, that really think that would be very beneficial to not just Nigeria, but Africa as a whole, but they keep thinking of limitations?
Nigeria is the best best corporate jungle in the world. I've lived everywhere in the world, and there's nowhere like Nigeria. Nigeria is the only place where a Lebanese man will leave his country, being a project manager, become a major contractor.
Is that not a problem? Is that not a problem? Have this guy just coming in with no? I think there should be some level of I'll call it quality control with what we put into the country. I don't for one buy that. People just come in and do as they like. He might have said this in good faith, but again, Nigeria should not be the place where anybody can just do anyhow and then they go, because that's what happens. And I'm not talking about him specifically. Now, in the light of this new stuff, I think that is most of this problem is just more of risk management. It's not like he stole certain money. I think it was just risk management. And if you've actually done business in Nigeria, especially this last 2 years, I would tell you it's been excruciating. Now, the country is turning the corner. If you know what you're doing, this is the time where you should now start benefiting from some of those reforms and all that. But then you've got to know what you're doing. You have to.
An Indian can leave his country as a storekeeper and become a manufacturer only in this country. So there's enormous opportunity in our nation. We must convert our complaints to concrete ideas and transfer ourselves from being ideologists to actually become performers of those. I hate it when I see young people ranting on social media and saying that time they used to convert it into creating an idea. It's extremely difficult to live in Nigeria. You have to convert that difficulty into opportunity. When people see bare land, see a skyscraper. And one of the things we've also done for diaspora is that we've created an investment opportunity for them, where you might not have 1 billion naira to buy one of our units, but you have 100 million, which is less than $200,000, or you have 10 million, which is less than $20,000. You can invest it with us, just like treasury bills, and you get secured return on investment. We have so many investors from America, from London.
So again, that's another thing, right? How now, in the light of his recent dilemma, how is he even meeting up with those returns expectations? Now that's a big question. Are his investors now at a very great risk, because they might say, you know what, I want to start calling in my investments. Now I cannot just put something in here because I want to get it back. Now it's high risk now. So again, it becomes a bigger problem for him because he doesn't even know, right? Like, he needs to raise capital. And then it becomes a bigger problem.
say, you know what, Suji, I have this money here, but I don't know what to do with it. It might not be able to pay for your house, but we trust your brand, hold it. And we've paid back so many other ones. Just like treasury bills, we give high returns. And the concept of Sujimoto investment is to
the high returns that is promising and promising to give. Is the high return now a problem? Is the high return now a bigger problem? Because for you to bring your money into Nigeria, number one, you're looking at the currency risk. You're looking at inflation. The value of your money, is it being eroded? Okay, those are the things you look at. Now, with respect to his new recent issues with EFCC, will investors start saying, you know what, I'm out? And if investor says I'm out, how does he even fulfill those obligations or those call for capital? That's crazy.
give people the opportunity to have a co-sharing, like a profit sharing mechanism, where we say, you know what, we have the idea, we have the project, we'll build it. You might not be able to chart out 1 billion naira today, but your 100 million naira, give it to us. At the end of 1 year or 2 years, we'll give you a return on investment. There's a lot of business opportunities here. There is nowhere in Africa that has the potential that this nation has, and I believe that you know, if you persevere, what God cannot do does not exist in this nation. You know?
Awesome.
So that is.
Thank you so much. I hope you guys have learned quite a number of things, and for the 1% watching this video that wants to come here and buy a property, do the investment, all of that, I'm going to put the website in the description section and the number you can call in. They're going to give that number to me, and we're going to make that happen for you, right? So thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, that was 2021. 2021. Wow. That was 2021. So 4 years later, he's now in this problem. Again, and I think this him again also with Taiwo, I know, right? No, it's 44 now, so it can be. How a 32-year-old built. Yeah, possibly. I think it might be the one. I'm not so sure. Wow. Again, you know, it's just it. You know, that's him again, Sujimoto's. Yeah, a lot of stories, a lot of hypes. Now, it's got his challenge, and I think that at this point in time, it's difficult. Like if you go through people that have, you know, gone through a lot, and now they're, you know, they're now just trying to get themselves back. Yeah, that's crazy. Okay, so that's that about that. I don't think he's a thief, you know. But then again, when you're doing business, it's crazy. This is him with Sujimoto's, I believe. Wow, the news is now going across Africa. See, Zeal News Africa, bro. That's crazy. I'm not a fugitive. He vanished with the money. So Enugu State Government is saying he vanished with the money. How true is that? Like, do we even have the schools? Like, do we even have like the contract done so far on those schools? Because I'm not seeing anything. Let me see. He vanished with the money. I'm not a thief. I'm not a fugitive. He declared. Let me see that. Yeah. We don't have anything on that, but it's okay. It's fine. Yeah. Well, we'll keep following the story to see how it goes. Again, that's that about that. Your crocodile tears won't save. Your crocodile tears won't save you. We're talking about the future of our children. What does it mean? And you must give a proper account of the money collected to build a smart school for them. Enugu State government speaks on Sujimoto for avoidance of doubts. So this is Enugu State story. This is cool. For the avoidance of doubt, on July 2nd, 2024, just a year ago, the state government awarded 11 billion. That's a lot of money. 475,930,000 to Sujimoto's Luxury Construction Limited for the construction of 22 smart schools. Buildings only in 6 months, starting from the date of the acceptance of the. So you've got 11 billion. That's 500 million average. For the avoidance of doubt, on July 2, 2024, the ENUGU State Government awarded a contract in sum of 11 billion to Sujimoto's Luxury Construction Limited for the construction of 22 smart schools, building only in 6 months. So it was given the project July. It was expected by January, it's done with the project, or was still by December. The ENUGU State Government paid him 5 billion, representing 50% of the contract sum, so as to fast-track the project. Rather than play to the rules of the contract to deliver quality project for furnishing and equipping ahead of September 2025 school resumption, in line with the priority placed on the Smart Green School initiative, Mr. Ogudele resorted to shoddy jobs and the use of inexperienced workers and quack engineers. None of his site met the structural integrity of the project as specified in the structural building. Now, for him to have been able to build that, all these stuffs, all these luxury stuffs that we've talked about, how on earth would he have actually gone to use quack engineers? What still, it vanished into thin air with money. All efforts made by the government to get him the round table to discuss the quality and progress of work proved abortive. He equally refused to attend the periodic briefing. Okay? A joint team of officers of the Enugu State Ministry of Work and Infrastructure and the EFCC visited the 22 sites to evaluate the progress of the work on May 8 and 9, 2025. That's like 3 months ago. Right? Yeah. Where it was established that there had been minimal to no significant work done at the said site 1 year after the contract award. In some cases, a fraudulent did not do excavation from all the blocks in the site. Wow. Wow. It's on record, okay, that he has not shown up at the site or made himself available to either the state government or the law enforcement agency even after those sites visit. It is pertinent to state that it was discovered in the course of investigation that whereas he presented a bond from Jay's Bank, he used Sujimoto's Luxury Construction Limited Zenith Bank account number. Yeah, but the state government should have known this, right? It was discovered in the course of investigation. I presented a bond from Jay's Bank, but then used the Zenith Bank account number to receive said payment and draw upon the fund without deploying it to the project. This clearly shows premeditated intent to defraud the state, ab initio. Government has since retaken and handed over the site to a new firm who has no choice than to start the construction afresh. Tremendous progress has been made to keep the determination of the MBA administration to migrate Enugu's children to smart green schools by September on track. So this is September. Have they been able to do that? Or is just another way to siphon more money? Nigeria should therefore disregard these theatrics and crocodile tears, as Enugu State Government is determined to and will surely recover all penny of Indi Enugu fraudulently obtained by Mr. Ola Shijibomi. Wow. Wow. So this is the guy commissioned for information. He needs to go clear himself. Yeah, he needs to. He needs to go clear himself. Now that they've spoken, it's now up for them to determine what next. Oh, this is the guy again.
What's going
I think the guy should just go off social media and go clear his name.
on my sites? And I woke up in the morning, I went to our first site. It was a very long road. Though the road is beautiful, and as usual, the Enugu people are always joyful. I went through our first site. On getting there, I met Engineer Collins, and it was very impressive as they've done so much work. They've out of the 6 blocks, they've gone to DPC level, and I see that things are going exciting and everything. Though it took us 2 hours to get there with an extremely bad road.
Nigeria.
But by the time we got here, it was so beautiful. Lots of nature, beautiful hills surrounding the school. Though it's a very new site, we just got here a couple of days ago. But I met with the engineer Benga, one of the most experienced engineer, and he's doing a great job here. So that's what I did there. And from there, I was on my way. And before I know it, the bulletproof car that we hired by the driver mistakenly hit the hillocks, bombarded the hillocks front, left, center. That we had no time. As people were arguing that it wasn't my fault, it was my fault. I had no time. I was thinking about how to reach over 10 sites today. Bam, I've jumped into my Korokwe. I called the other site to send us a car. There's no car available, so we jumped into Korokwe. I jumped into Korokwe. We were able to visit 2 sites. The other site, the DPC level is quite impressive too, but they have some material they're waiting for, so it is delaying them from reaching their true potential. So now we are here, we're finished from here, and as we're going back, I decided to stop in the famous ENUGU market, one of the biggest markets, 2.5 hours away from ENUGU State. But it's very impressive how you can see people from the state. They're very enterprising, always moving, always joyful, people doing their businesses and extremely busy, just like the the Balogun market in Lagos. But it's exciting. You see the incredible Igbo people. No matter where you find them, in the sun, in the desert, in the villages, they're always looking for opportunities to visit. So I decided to go and buy some water, and boom, before I know it, my other Lexus car is here so that I can jump on and continue my day. Thank you, and this is Sujimoto from Enugu.
Okay, so that's it. So he's here now replying. I went to Enugu with nothing but a good heart, the desire to build, to uplift, to leave behind something greater than myself. Even when life tested me with an accident that almost broke me, I stayed because commitment is not convenient. It is sacrifice. Today I stand before you as not as a perfect man, but as a man of truth. My only defense is integrity, and my greatest witness is the work I've done. In the end, time will separate noise from truth. Until then, I remain steadfast because my intentions were pure and my conscience is clear. Again, you have to go tell EFCC that. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where this would lead to, but again, it says, yeah, this is what ENUGU State Government said, and we'll see what happens. Okay, that's that about that. I'm gonna move on.